and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. We're going to continue roughly the plan we were going with, which is to get all of retired, and hopefully get enough workers in the city after that. Convincing getting some other places. The master of the vegetable farms has passed away. Okay, so replace him with a different noble. It does that vaguely at random, so that's not too tedious to do. We're building more housing so we can have more people to move into the town without causing homelessness. Yeah, I think that next housing election provides enough space for another 100 people. Which, granted, we're gonna make into retirees, effectively, so... And yeah, in theory we're indoctrinating people. We're just not doing it faster than people moving in. We're doing it in a rate that's fast enough to compensate for the people that are moving in. So that's not helping as much. Yeah, the university change was not as helpful as I'd hoped. Although maybe in the long run, it's sort of like schooling and reproduction in the city, right? Where it gets better the longer you've been running it. But it's not very impactful right at the beginning. Okay, there's housing for another 50, so let's actually set this up to 5,000. Just need to do spawn 2, probably another 50 in. To be fair, now the odd jobber shortage is less severe, the food's looking better, so I could probably get away with trying to raise the rations again. Let's tell it I can let another 50 in. So, path destroyed. The storm destroyed what was left of the path. The caravan was lost in the chasm, and influential merchants are blaming us. Well, that's the weather, my friends. I do not control what you do to the road after a terrible storm. Okay, let's put the housing block there. Let more people move into the town. Well, let more housing slowly be built so we can have more people move into the town. We're almost done with that rest home. Once that rest home's done, we can work on allowing for more retirement. Gonna bring us up to 5 of them, so that's gonna be 580 retired that we can have at that point, out of the 1,000 or so potential in the city. So yeah, we're gonna get that built. We're gonna get more people in. We get more people retired, and sort of rinse and repeat over and over and over again. It's the short-term plan for growing the city. Maybe with trying to get the gems on the export list again. Was this my gem exporter? This might have been my gem exporter. What's the pull locations? Yeah, let's just remove the pull locations. We'll say this is the gem exporter. Slot in gems here. And then we've got a place to export from, but make sure it doesn't grab everything there. 55% actually seems reasonable. Is that the only place we can get we store gems in the city at the moment? Yeah. So grab from the one place. Get those gems being exported. Because in theory we're getting gems in taxation. Alright, so that should allow some to go allow the surplus from our taxes to be spent generating more revenue for the city. Oh, that one's not done yet. That's the only one over there that didn't finish. Can an odd jobber come around and finish it, please? Of course not. Okay. I'm gonna raise housing by another 100. You're now upgraded, okay. You're now built, so we can now upgrade you. There we go. And it's done, so we can have another 100 retirees. Okay, let's build the next rest home. Put a road through here, up there. Okay, so we got the rest homes full for the moment. Just need the next one built. We actually apparently have some odd jobbers for once. That holds up. Well, actually, I'm still gonna have to keep building houses, right? That's what we're gonna have to do. We get to be building houses over here because we're gonna retire more people, which means you're gonna need to bring more people in. So start building some more houses. But yeah, slowly and steadily, we are allowing more and more people to retire. Which I think is having positive benefits on fulfillment. Well, we could do with more health. Well, Well, there isn't much more space on physician, so it really does need to be food. Or I gotta do tech. How's knowledge looking? How much is the cost for health from knowledge? That's here, 20? Oh, that's a real small number. Yeah, I don't think that's worth it. I think we just need to get more. Distribute more food is probably the way to go about doing it, which needs to get the food production going up. Okay, these houses are built, so let's get them upgraded. So now we've got housing for, like, another 100. So we'll set the auto to allow expansion up to that. The rest home is complete, so we allow another 100 or so people to retire. On sort of a side industry, the deranged level is getting a little high. So let's grab you insane asylums. Effectively double our insane asylum space. And yeah, whatever I did with the storage definitely, or with the pottery, definitely helped with storage of it. Where is my... There's the warehouse. Make sure more of our warehouses are upgraded so we can store a little more stuff. Okay, all the warehouses are upgraded. So if I need more storage or something, I need to build more warehouse. Or some of them might have some empty crates. I might have to put some more crates, assign more crates, but it's the way forward there. And you're upgraded. How's the retirement going? So the new number is 696. So in fact, in theory, I got more retirees than I got retiree homes. So that means I need more retirement homes. So next house, next retirement home. Go in there. Do I have enough before the end of the map? No. Let's put it that way. Although I could put it this way around, that would work. Let's put it that way around. So we'll put 2 more in, and then obviously we're gonna have to find another place to cram retirement homes into after that. Yep, we'll need more housing, which we'll put another block over here. We'll get that stretch next. Okay, in here we're going to put farming up to a portion, and then the top it's going to be admin, so we can keep like industries with like. Yeah, we got space for more people to move in. We'll see if that move in actually happens. Because we got 50 odd jobbers right now, so construction should be going reasonably quickly. And again, once we get the rest homes done, we can let more people retire, which should improve expectations, should allow more people to migrate in. Oh, and how has that, insane asylum construction going? Let's sit over here and watch these go, actually. This might be part of what's slowing it down, as I've got constructions going on two ends of the map. Lost a bunch of odd jobbers, although I'm not sure what to. Probably moving things around, honestly. And down here, oh, those are done being built. Okay, so let's get the upgrade so we can shove even more people down here. Those aren't built yet. I think the insane asylums are farther along than those are. And I'm hoping the insane asylums will help us get more of these deranged converted back to sane people. There's an achievement, or there's a title for getting up to 200 deranged in the city, but I'd rather that be 200 in, treatment, and not 200 because we don't have enough treatment. But if we get big enough that we can have 200 in treatment, that'd be a respectable place for that title to pop. Almost done. It's got one place to complete construction on. There it goes. That's another insane asylum done. That one's now down to one as well. There we go. Another working insane asylum, so that should treat another 20 at a time. So he's just got 69 deranged out and about that don't have a treatment facility. Let's see how that works on reducing the number. Let's set this to 3550. That way, as everything improves from retirement, we can have people move in to backfill those people. Technically, we got 200 people that are going to be retiring here. We're getting pretty close to having enough retirement homes. waiting for these two to build. Yeah, and of course, as we get more people moving in, we're fighting, trying to achieve the native, and probably also pushing back the indoctrination. Indoctrination is actually holding decent at 10%, so that's... The university is definitely helping on that front. Although maybe in the long run we might want to swap the university over to educate, even though that's going to make people grumpy. And yeah, we're waiting for that construction to complete so we can do more retirement. We'll see how that plays off. Oh, the declining health rate is getting more and more worrisome. High health rate again keeps the infected number low, but as the population of the city grows, it's going to become harder and harder to maintain. And there's not much more we can do with physicians. Well, the physicians themselves are probably getting a little on the low side. There's another 100 or so retired that we can have, so we'll do another like 3 or 4 ticks. One's done. Other one isn't quite done. I suppose I can also do the math and figure out how many I'm going to need to max that out. Well, max out the current number, of course. Because the number is going to get bigger the more and older our population gets. It's going to be less than... Oops. So, we got, in theory, we got 1.1 thousand people that want to retire. We got 116 per retirement facility, so we need 9.5 to have everyone retire. What's the soil type south of the town there? Tilligan. Okay, so I think that might be actually where we put the next couple of retirement homes. So let's retirement home there. So that'd be 8, 9. 10. And then we'll work on getting housing in here for the retirees to live in. And we'll get that built, we'll get that filled out. See if the town is still vaguely stable after having that many people retire. I think the answer may be yes, but we'll find out. Yep, that one's almost assembled. Although without letting more people in, letting more retire might be a little bit of a mistake. Reports from our fisheries indicate the catch is unusually good lately. Make sure to store all that extra fish. Well, we got the storage capacity, so we'll see how well that goes. Don't pay the ransom, the neighbors will allow for free passage. Blood of the innocent, my dear queen, I've been instructed to convey this message for a certain Quintus the Brute. Okay, so we'll set speed to 0. We'll check up on this brute before we simply just pay them. Quintus the Brute, 2,661 soldiers, or 261 soldiers, not 2,000. Sorry. And they're walking around in decent plate. Yeah, I think we would struggle to deal with that because, again, it's plate. At some point, we need to make the transition off of leather. Yeah, at some point, we need to make the transition off of leather. If some of the weaker ones, like this one, if Grug the One-Eye showed up, it would be like, yeah, no, we're fighting Grug the One-Eye. But Quartius, the brute here, we're gonna pay up to. Lovely stuff, thanks. May you taste a lot of flesh. I hope you mean fish flesh there. We're not cannibals. Okay, so let's let another 50. Still waiting on those ones to build. Okay. Anyway, we gotta, in theory, once all these rest homes built, we'll have the 10 that we need to let everyone retire. And then it's on to the next problem. Strange murder. Jake the Invincible. The murder has occurred, but the murderer is a different victim. Advise found that the eye was removed. Today I have saved a soul. I will take many souls before my great work is complete. Please, mortals, do not even attempt to stop me in my work. You're like mere flies. Okay, so we got a serial killer around. Just gonna make it a bit of a pain to get more people to move into the town. Okay, there we got the housing for up to 5,500. Whether or not we'll be able to let that many in, different question. Well, whether or not that many people will want to move in is a different question. Okay, let's look at... There's grabbing another physician. Thinking trying to get that health up. Yeah, let's grab a physician. This doesn't actually look like a terrible place to put it, so let's shove it in here. Physician, try to keep the old folks healthy. Would not probably be a bad plan. Okay. So in theory, we got enough to go up to that number if people were to move in. Just need to actually have the rest homes build out so we can get the retirement, so we can get the standard of living up so more people move in. Okay, more injuries, that's fine. %85 complete. They're getting distracted. Well, also got an odd jobber shortage, right? That's what's going on. So there's other things the odd jobbers need to do. Okay. And the physician is done. That's good. That should help a little bit with keeping the health high, because that should push us closer to 4 from the health boost on physicians. Yeah, I think everything's delivered there. I think we just need people to get over there and work. They're delivering stuff here, which might be why the odd jobbers are not doing other stuff. They're assembling the first stage on these two. I'd probably prefer them to finish other jobs, but it doesn't really matter which rest home they get done first, as long as they get them all done eventually. As long as they're making progress, and that's what's going on here. Okay, so that's cleared. And they're constructing that one slowly, not particularly fast. Yeah, instead of finishing the one that's almost done, they're working on the other three. Which, yeah, isn't necessarily a big problem. It's a slight annoyance, but it's not a big problem. You're currently still getting that fishing bonus, which is why the fish is up high. Serial killer. I'm gonna say no. We said no the first time. We said yes the second time. I'm gonna say no. That's do we torture the accused to get a confession? I think it slightly shortens how long you have the serial killer modifier from, because if you torture them, they'll always confess, but it might be a false confession is what tends to happen. So then you can still get events related to the serial killer being out serial killing people. Almost done. One more work location there. 90% done. Oh, now it's done. Let's turn up the retirement. If you're wondering why there's a disconnect between this number and this number, this is the percentage of retired people. This is the retirement age target. That's where that discrepancy comes from, right? So that then filters through the demographics. So certain percentages affects retirement slightly differently. Oh, that one's done, so we can let a little bit more in to retirement. Well, I suppose I don't actually need to set the retirement so low to max this out. This maxes out at 1.9 or 1.09 thousand people retired. Apparently, I could set the retirement lower than that potentially. Another killing? Yeah, we're kind of expecting that. Yeah, so we should have enough retirement to get retirement maxed. And then we should have the facilities to retire them all once this is all built. Hopefully we can solve the odd jobber problem. In theory, we've got the housing for the migration set up, so we just gotta let them migrate in. Yeah, so we're getting the whole 100% bonus at this point now. Riches is not going to be easy to get. Okay, so this is where things are going to get a little complicated. Okay. Oh, actually, I suppose one of the reasons we don't have happy people and we don't have migration right now is because we have the serial killer going on, right? Yeah, that's what's going on. We actually got reasonably high fulfillment. We just don't have particularly high happiness because, you know, people don't appreciate people being murdered. Okay, so I should be a little bit less worried about the overemployment due to the fact that that should fix itself as soon as the serial killing ends. Although we probably are due for another housing block. Somewhere roughly where we're planning on putting more jobs in. Maybe in here? In preparation for making use of this farmland over here? Yeah. It's not particularly good, but we can turn all this into vegetable farms. We'll hold off a little bit until we get the last rest home completed. I apparently don't need the last one to keep the bonus at 100%. But that'll help keep us future-proofed, and we'd rather that be the case. So yeah, that one is a little bit from imprisonment, a little bit from riches. Here would be fulfillment and indoctrination, religion of camped, environment. I could really go a lot harder on the torches, but and eggs, torches and eggs. Tavern's the one we haven't tried to do yet, which is I think what we're going to try to do next. Access is food, clothing, and eventually trying to do the rest of the furniture. Yeah, we'll see if we got enough. In theory, we're actually pretty good on the fulfillment. Essential supplies have not been delivered to Army 2. Okay, I assume that... Oh, that might be clothes. That might be clothes. I was about to say, oh, I assume it's probably rations not being delivered. No, it's probably clothes. We're too poor to supply the clothes. Is Army 2 regional army or the Division 1? It's hard to tell which one's which. I think that's the regional army. Yeah, that looks like that's the regional army. I probably get away with shrinking these, to be fair. Let's, I'm gonna edit. We're actually shrink you. This will reduce the, effectively reduce the upkeep cost on these. And we'll do the same with the personal one. Well, I gotta go to into the city map to do the personal one. We're gonna... Oh, I'm not allowed to edit you from there. And I'm not allowed to edit you from here. You know, let's actually, let's send you home. Disband you, send you home. And then we drop the taxes so the region doesn't rebel. Here we go. That should keep it happy, even with the army not there, and we keep the taxes high. That costs us hides and meat and a little bit of livestock, but hopefully that'll be fine. And suppose we've got to have 200 troops come back, so that will actually increase. Well, we won't, there wasn't 200 there, but we'll have a bunch of troops come back, and that'll give us some more space. Roads, stone brick, out to there, and the rest of them. Maybe not super important, but we're going to do it anyway. Another killing? Yeah, that's what's interfering with our migration. Once that ends, I think the migration will quickly backfill the city, which will help backfill the missing jobs. And yeah, I think the next thing to go on to is drink. Drink and merriment. Oh, does one of my... I think one of them has some empty crates, because I got no crates that set aside for drink. You have it. You're not particularly conveniently placed. Well, actually, depends on what I'm trying to do, right? You'd be probably pretty fine if we were to make this into orchards in this area. So more fruit there wouldn't be a bad idea. Is that all my warehouses? No, we got that one. That would make sense, because we've got this sort of industrial area. Again, this is probably another one that would make sense to do fruit, and if we're doing, take some of the tree land and use that for the brewery space, that would work as well. So yeah, let's put a couple things of fruit here, and a couple things drink in that one specifically. Go find the other one where we had open crates. That one. I already got some fruit here. Let's put a couple crates of drink. And then we'll put more crates. We'll use the last one, some of the other crates for fruit. Just assign them all. Yeah, that'll work. That way we got adequate storage for that expansion when we do that expansion. Yep, we hit retirement goals. We have at the point where the Grand Temple is in fact not large enough to handle everyone in the city, but it's big enough that it's not warranted yet to build a second one. Is probably a good way to think about it. And depending upon what we want to interact with on the world map, there is an argument we may want to start up is it Arthurianism? Yeah, I think it's Arthurianism, right? We're doing Cantourism right now. Arthurian is probably the other one we'd want to do. So there's an argument to start up Arthurianism as well. Yeah, at some point we're just going to have to distribute more food. The food stockpiles look vaguely stable. So I'm going to risk kicking this back up to 2 to get the additional health bonus from that. Because again, I'm worried about health going below 1. We really can't raise it much more with physicians. I think physician technically caps out at 4, but we're 3.75. We're apparently pretty much there already. It might be 3.75 where it caps out. Yeah, right now, until the modifier from the serial killing goes away, we're not growing. We're not growing at all. Although the moment that goes away, we're going to start growing pretty fast, I think. Born, parole, readjusted, disease, punishment, insanity. Total net 5. Okay. And yeah, I think the next thing to expand is fruit and brewing. Brewing is going to want us to put taverns in. I suppose one thing we could be building... Let's turn the speed down. Not to 0, but to low. Let's see what a tavern looks like. They're not going to work without the booze, but we can build them without the booze. Distribution tavern. Let's say I want them to be fairly large. So we want them to go up against the wall like so. That provides 8 services. So 6. So apparently it's expected to be like 5. Each service is expected to be used like 5 times a day. We got some knickknacks. Oh, and that would just be enough. Like that, so... That's, in theory, all we need. Or we could try to do it with carpets instead. Yeah, using carpets is maybe less space efficient than knickknacks, but you can get combos that look like this. I think this works pretty well. That provides 80 services. Granted, I'm not so sure how many people can... How frequently need the service, right? So if it's 80, but I need that 80 every day for every person. Oh dear. We're gonna try something like this to start. Put a double door at both ends. And I suppose... Actually, we'll build that. We'll have that build slowly. And then... Here we've got some fruit in storage already, so I can technically do some brewery as is. Just find a spot to stick it in. Here wouldn't be too bad. The brewery might want to be fairly big. Make it like 10 employees. Okay, that's maybe not the best place for it, but we put it there. So we can see what rate 10 employees can turn fruit into Shada, and then we can distribute the Shada for a bonus. Again, we have an army unit on the way back. It should provide us like another 140 people to work in the city. What I might do if I decide we want it deployed is... Well, if we want those units in the field, it'd actually raise a regional unit to replace it. keep the city army in the city. Hopefully you don't want both types to drink it. They're happy with just having one of the types, because we're only going to make one of the types. Yeah, the brewery isn't that expensive. Maybe we should have done the brewing stuff earlier. Although we'll have to see how well it goes. Okay, so that's almost built. And we do have an odd jobber problem again because we're waiting for people to migrate into the city because we have, or still have, serial killing still in effect, a happiness modifier, or actually a loyalty modifier, which is what affects the immigration. Okay, so I've changed the recipe to the one that uses fruit. So that's going to require pots. Although this is in theory making 2 per person. We got 10 people there, so it's going to make 20 something. Okay, we have a tavern, which would stock whatever we'd provided. Okay, good to know. And it does in fact have people who work there. Tavern keeps. Okay. Yeah, so I have no idea how many drinks we need to serve everyone. Don't necessarily want to inebriate people too much. This number does go all the way up to 5, so we're currently working at a 1/5 of maximum drinkage. Yeah, that'll probably be what we work on in the next one. As soon as the serial killer modifier goes away, and I think it's starting to wear off. So as soon as that goes away, we should have more migration. Should get up to our population target. Get people moved in. Then we're then going to work on drinks. And then following drinks, we're going to work on food for food servings. So there's maybe an argument on which of our 3 food types I should focus on to do that with. This one's making... We're assuming they're just eating the eggs. This is like 8 to 1. So that's actually pretty efficient, 8 to 1, from a worker standpoint. The fishing is... That's 7 to 1? After all the multipliers, 1.4... No. Well, no, 1.4 plus 3.6, so that would be 5 times 16. Might be 7. And that would get better, obviously, as we do more fishing. Put more fishers in there, we get more experience. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think probably the next one, then we'll be doing more fishing. Why is fishery 11 got 0 workers assigned to it? Because it's insufficient workers, and that fishing site only has one worker when workers are available. Okay. But yeah, so I think we're gonna get more fishermen. We're gonna get more fishermen. We're gonna get more egg worker or more pastures. We'll probably start with the pastures first. So I'm gonna go beer. I might be gonna go for results. Beer, eggs, fish. I might hold off on the vegetables. Even though it probably doesn't make sense to do vegetables as well. What's the productivity on our veg? Terrible. Yeah, so our luxury is the veg. So if we gotta short something, short the veg. Okay, we'll see how that goes. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up for you tomorrow. This is where we're going to bring this part to a close. If you're watching on Twitch, this is going to be the midstream tea break where I go make a new cup of tea. So it'll be a slightly longer break than normal. And I hope, regardless of where you're watching it, you're enjoying the run. And until next time, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.